Okay, so I wanted to hop on here and just to give my own opinion of what Sony's been doing. After their state of play, they had like what last week Thursday I think it was. Um, it just made me realize that like I'm kind of pretty anti-Sony with what they're doing, and I say that because of like all the nonsense that they've been doing, mainly ever since the launch of the PS5. Xbox has been talking about this about their smart delivery and how like well once you put in a Xbox One game and if it happens to have a next gen version, well next gen I like to say current gen because we're basically in current gen right now, but if developers made a current gen version and you put in the last gen version of the game, it'll automatically upgrade you to basically whatever system you're playing on, whether it's the Xbox One, Xbox One X, S, or the Series S or Series X. It'll automatically update you to whatever console you're on. Whereas what Sony's doing, they were mentioning these free upgrades, in which they should be free, as many of us expected because they talked about it and advertised it. But what they're doing now, and the first hint of it was with Spider-Man, how like it was locked behind. I think it was like a Ultimate Edition or Special Edition of Miles Morales, and I don't think that was too bad because Miles Morales was. It was what like a $40 game, which is basically like an expansion pack for Spider-Man, and the Ultimate Edition was being sold for $50. I may be wrong in those numbers. And with them advertising like for free upgrades, and some developers are still doing that, like Square Enix, they eventually updated Avengers. CD Projekt Red is still bringing out Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3. There's what else is there? Well, those are the games I can think off the top of my head right now. But like these are third party developers doing this, and now you got game. Oh, I remember Final Fantasy VII remake. I kind of like how they did do that. Whereas like. You can get the free upgrade, and then there's a DLC with it that you can also pay for like I think $10 or $20. But what they're doing now with Ghost of Tsushima, it was another game that they were doing that with. I can't remember what it was. But basically what they're doing now is having these little like $10 upgrades for Death Stranding. With like a $10 like director's cuts or whatever, and for me as much of a fan I am of Kojima and pretty much all the games he makes, it's like I don't want to support Sony with what they're doing, and I'm basically becoming anti-Sony because of it. Like I didn't buy Returnal. I have a slight interest in it, not so much basically because of the game it is. It's like I kind of want to play it, but I'm not gonna buy it on day one. Ratchet and Clank, I have an interest in that, but like I'm not buying that day one. It's like I'll wait for in the bargain bin. And man, mainly with that, if like you really want to stand for something and like try to make a difference, there's basically two ways you can do that. One, the toxic way, is pre-ordering games, getting them on day one without knowing any information about them at all. And number two is waiting for them to go on sale or when they're like super cheap, well like $20-$30. That's basically two extremes that sends the developers. Because it sounds like you're not putting any thought into it and you're just buying it right away. It sounds like, oh great, we can make dog shit and people will buy it, cool. Or it's like, oh shit, or like people aren't interested in the game, or we did something bad that made people wait on the game. Or I think the middle option is like wait for reviews to drop, do your own research, and then take the plunge if you want to buy it at full price or not. I mean that still pushes you onto this side of the extreme where you're gonna wait for sales or whatever. But like also it's like if there's other people that are buying the game full price or pre-ordering or whatever and reviewing it, you can do your research and wait till after day one and buy it then. That way they can still get their full get their they can still get all the money for full price, but you also know that you're gonna get a game that you will enjoy. That's also why like I've never bought the Last of Us 2. I'm game sharing with a friend, and he had the Last of Us part 2. I'm not paying for that shit because of all the controversy and the garbage it was. I played it, and it was a letdown like I expected. It's like, why would I pay for that? It's like, I'll play it, I'm not gonna pay for it. And with everything, with like developers and tech and all these things, you basically vote with your dollar. You're always voting for everything you pay for. This tells developers and companies what you want. Like with how well the PS4 did, that's basically how Sony's mind works now. It's like when the PS2 did so well, they had this arrogant mindset of like literally when the PSV was announced, had the price announced. I don't remember who it was exactly. Maybe Kazurai. He literally said, I believe in an interview, he said that people will get a second or third job just to buy our console. That is arrogant as fuck, and I don't like that. Not from any of these companies. It's like same thing when Don Matrick was head of the Xbox division when the Xbox One launched, and he said someone asked him like well, what if people wanted to play games offline? So I was like, oh well, we have a system for that. It's called the 360. It's like, you say this stupid shit that's kind of anti-consumer. And like, I really support Xbox and Game Pass and what they're doing now versus what Sony's doing. And I don't really like anything that they're doing. And I see a lot of fanboys that will support them, you know, go to the end of the earth for them, which is really fucking stupid. You should never support any kind of company just because of the brand. It's like you need to support the policies that they that they show up and provide you. Sony isn't really doing shit. They promised us free upgrades, and then now it's like, oh, you gotta pay a little bit more to enjoy it on the PS5. And what fucks me up, I believe with both Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima, I had these games on the PS4 Pro, and like for me, my main thing is frame rate. Both Death Stranding and, well, I don't think Death Stranding runs at, actually, it ran at a high frame rate. I don't know if it was 60, but no. What I'm saying is like you can put these games from the PS4 version and put them on PS5, and they'll run smooth. They'll run at 60 frames. They'll run at a maybe higher resolution. I'm not so sure about that. But it's like, what's the benefit of paying $10 more to get the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima? Slightly higher load times, Japanese lip sync, more haptic feedback and controller functions. Is that really worth $10? Not to me. I mean, the PS4 version already provides fucking 60 frames. That's really all I care about. The game really isn't going to be any better just because of like more rumble controls or rumble features. And same thing with Death Stranding. It's like, it from what I've seen so far, it doesn't really add any story or anything. It adds like extra features and functions and things in the game, but like that's not really worth $10 to me. It's like, if if the Ghost of Tsushima expansion was like $20 and like it didn't mention that, or like if it mentioned if you wanted Ghost of Tsushima the free upgrade, or as a free upgrade, and then the expansion was 20 bucks, like an expansion normally is, then fine. Death Stranding, it doesn't really add any more content, but besides like little like DLCs, weapons, and items and whatnot. So I was like, I don't know. I think that should just be like DLC that you could purchase if you wanted, and like upgrading to the PS5 native version should be free. There's also talks of like a PS5 version of Bloodborne. I think that's a little bit understandable, because if they do make you pay like $10 for it, because that game, even if you play it on PS5 right now, it still runs at 30 frames, and it is a bit older. I think it came out in like 2015, so that's a little bit more understandable. But at the same time, I do believe developers could go back and like update the game if they wanted. It's just these things that Sony does, it's just anti-consumer, and it's not beneficial to us. It's just ways to get money from us at the end of the day. Whereas again, Xbox, Game Pass, you're good. And same thing. It sounds like I also believe Sony's kind of pushing people away towards PCs as well, because it's like if you look at a PC, you can buy the game and you upgrade your hardware. Like you buy a game and like your hardware is set where like you can have your settings to medium, and you buy better hardware, and then you can have the same game and just turn those settings to ultra. Whereas this, you upgrade from the PS4 to the PS5, you have the same game, and now you have to pay more to get those features. Like, Sony is really price gouging us, and I don't really like Sony fanboys who support this at all. It's like, if you actually think they're just taking money from you, and this is like, if you pay them, it's telling them that this is okay for them to do. It's not. It shouldn't be. This is a bad practice. This is a bad policy, and this should not be supported. Support Xbox and shit. Support PC for all I care. I'm not really a PC person, but these upgrades I really hope no one's paying for. It's really fucking stupid, and it's really fucking unfair as a consumer. Thank you for listening.